From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 7, streaming now.
President Trump returning to the White House tonight after days in the hospital with COVID-19. He walked out of Walter Reed Hospital about 20 minutes ago wearing a mask. Questions remain about the president's treatment and prognosis and what will happen next. Thank you for joining us for the news at 7. I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins. President Trump's doctors say he's not out of the woods yet. And he's returning to a White House where there is a growing number of staffers who are testing positive for the virus, including his press secretary and 2 of her aides. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze is outside Walter Reed Medical Center with the latest tonight.
4 days after he boarded Marine One to Walter Reed Medical Center, President Trump tweeting he's leaving tonight, saying he's feeling really good, despite undergoing experimental treatments and needing supplemental oxygen, and stating in a video yesterday that he gets it. The president saying today, don't be afraid of COVID, don't let it dominate your life. Those words unlikely to resonate with the families of the more than 210,000 Americans who've died from the disease. The White House physician giving this update on the president's health today.
Though he may not entirely be out of the woods yet, the team and I agree that all our evaluations, and most importantly, his clinical status, support the president's safe return home, where he'll be surrounded by world-class medical care 24/7.
The president set to return to a White House that is now its own COVID hotspot. Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany revealing she tested positive for the virus this morning. ABC News has learned at least 2 other White House staffers in the press office also got positive test results in recent days. But McEnany never quarantined as the CDC guidelines specify, even briefing the media yesterday after removing her mask. And sources tell ABC News McEnany was pulled from the president's trip to Bedminster, New Jersey last Thursday because of her proximity to top aide Hope Hicks, who also tested positive. President Trump violating the health agency's recommendations last night during a surprise drive-by to wave to his supporters outside the hospital. The president, who health experts believe is likely still contagious, wearing a mask in the back seat, but that vehicle is sealed to protect against chemical attacks, meaning the air inside doesn't circulate, putting the Secret Service officers in the SUV at risk. The White House saying in a statement, appropriate precautions were taken, including PPE. The movement was cleared by the medical team as safe to do. But the CDC says any movement of a hospitalized COVID patient outside their room should only be done for medically essential purposes. We still don't know what President Trump's schedule will look like after he leaves the hospital tonight and if he will remain in isolation at the White House. But the Trump campaign tells ABC News the president is planning to attend next week's debate with Joe Biden. Biden saying he's looking forward to that town hall event. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News from Walter Reed Medical Center in Maryland.
The first and only vice presidential debate is still on for Wednesday night in Salt Lake City, but now organizers are adding additional safety measures. According to a person familiar with the preparations, Vice President Mike Pence and Senator Kamala Harris will be separated by plexiglass while on stage. They will be 12 feet apart, farther than originally planned. Pence has tested negative for COVID-19, but some health experts say he still should not be going forward with the debate if he has been in close contact with President Trump or anyone else who has recently tested positive.
As the White House deals with a cluster of COVID cases, 30,000 Americans are in the hospital fighting the virus. 33 states and Puerto Rico are reporting rising case totals. Meanwhile, CDC has updated its guidance once again on how COVID is spread, saying the virus can spread between people who are more than 6 feet away or after an infected person has left the room, especially in poorly ventilated enclosed spaces during activities that cause heavier breathing like singing or exercise. Today, the State Department of Health is reporting 835 new COVID-19 cases recorded between Friday and yesterday. An additional 7 people died with COVID-19 on Saturday and Sunday. According to the Regent Street Institute, the health department data shows an increase in emergency room visits and ICU admissions, but a decrease in positive tests. About 83% of Indiana COVID patients have recovered.
Less than 5 hours to go if you still need to register to vote. The deadline is at midnight. You can do so online right now at indianavoters.in.gov. Tomorrow, early voting begins across the state. And if you plan to vote absentee by mail, you should file for an application for a ballot immediately. The deadline to turn in your ballot application is October 22nd. And per last week's order from a federal judge, your absentee ballot will be counted as long as it's postmarked on or before Election Day, November 3rd, and received in the election office of your county by November 13th. Bottom line, make sure you mail back your completed ballot as soon as you can. We have your guide to the November general election up right now on our website, WRTV.com. That includes all of the dates you need to know in order to make sure your vote counts. Again, that's all at WRTV.com/vote in 2020.
Checking in now with Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory. Hey, Kevin, it was a little chilly this morning.
See what happens? You come back from vacation and it gets a little frosty. The sun is out for the entire week, Amanda, for your return. Temperatures, they'll be in the lower 30s across central Indiana. Temperatures during the afternoon, though, jumped way back. Watch this. They jumped some 30 degrees from morning low to afternoon high. 65 was the high in Muncie, 64 in Terre Haute. Temperatures are warmer because of the wind out of the southwest. High pressure off to the south and east. That will boost our temperature during the overnight as well as afternoon highs. 58 in Indy, 62 right now in Muncie. What a beautiful sunset in progress. Enjoy that. The wind out of the southwest, that increases overnight. That will keep our temperatures from getting as cold tomorrow morning. So I think we are frost free tomorrow morning, when temperatures push nearly 80 degrees and what becomes the national weather story of the week coming up.
Thanks, Kevin. It was a rude awakening this morning to come back to that. A Broad Ripple-based tech company has a tool that's getting a lot of use now to keep FaceTime up while employees work from home. Last year, I showed you how CoVideo used local resources to recruit former Hoosier talent back to Indiana to work at their company. I find out how the pandemic is giving CoVideo a boost in demand, which means they need to hire more Hoosiers.
This could be a really great tool for our students. We know that students will watch a video for a couple minutes, more so than they'll read a long email.
Ginny Leonard started relying on the video messaging service from CoVideo in August. As the Director of Student Success and Retention at Ivy Tech, the tool helps her connect with students when in-person FaceTime is not an option.
Especially when you serve a large population of first-generation students, you know, they need to feel like this is a place where they belong and that they have people here to support them. And putting a face with a name makes a huge difference.
You would think by their name that they're a company birthed from the COVID-19 pandemic, but actually CoVideo has been around for 15 years and has 30,000 customers around the world.
Many universities have moved to online learning, which gets in the way of that face-to-face interaction that students typically have with their professors or teachers. And so universities are using this to maintain that FaceTime and keep students engaged.
Just in the last 6 months, CoVideo has added 50 colleges and universities to their clientele. According to CoVideo's database, video engagement has increased by 40% since March. With more business, the video messaging company needs more Hoosiers for their team.
We were prepared, yes, but we are also hiring. So, we're hiring on all fronts, sales side, support, developers, just with the increase, not even just colleges and universities, but industries and professionals across the board are turning to video, and so we are ramping up.
It's a tool to keep people connected and engaged as we rebound into this new way of working and learning.
We know that by sending a personalized video email, first of all, if you put the word video and a person's first name in the subject line, you're going to increase your open rates by 19%. If you open that email and you see someone in the body of the email waving, smiling, they've got a whiteboard with your name on it, you're going to see an increase upward of 65%. But the biggest impact is your response rate. So these videos, they're easy to create, they make a lasting impression, and we've seen an increase of 200% for response rates.
If CoVideo seems like a good fit for you, check out this story on our website at WRTV.com. Managers at CoVideo say if business keeps increasing at the pace that it is already doing, they will be hiring moving into next year as well.
Still ahead on the news at 7, food insecurity is a problem in Indianapolis and across the country. How one group is working to increase access to fresh and healthy ingredients in communities of color.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 7, streaming now.
After a win on the road yesterday, the Colts were back at Lucas Oil Stadium this afternoon, kicking off their No One Runs on Empty campaign with Gleaners Food Bank. Every Monday in October, Colts players will distribute food from the Gleaners mobile food pantry to Indianapolis families. The initiative aims to provide 10 million meals to Hoosiers while giving the community a chance to give back.
So now we are 100% reliant on volunteers. So the Colts are out here, they're volunteering, they're showing that it's safe to do so. We're geared up with PPE and practicing social distancing, and so we hope everybody will be encouraged that it's okay to come out and volunteer because we really do need the help.
The shopping frenzy on the onset of the pandemic gave many Americans their first taste of what it's like to not have access to basic necessities. But it's a reality that communities of color have faced for decades. Asha Qureshi caught up with one entrepreneur who's fighting for food equality.
Eggplant, green tomatoes, cauliflower.
A chance errand to Chicago's West Side taught Liz Abuno that access to groceries, fresh fruits, and vegetables was a luxury.
Now I'm on a commercial corridor in a black neighborhood. None of this stuff is readily available, and it didn't sit right with me. We have mangoes the size of your head.
The New York native and business school graduate decided to do something about it, starting a social enterprise to bring fresh produce to the neighborhood.
When I was thinking of a name for this business, I wanted something that was distinctly rooted in black culture.
40 Acres Fresh Market is a reference to Special Field Orders Number 15. Issued by General William T. Sherman in 1865, it promised 40 acres of land and mules for freed slaves to settle in South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. It was revoked months later by President Andrew Johnson.
It's a cruel irony that the descendants of this country's first farmers now live in neighborhoods where they can get nothing from the earth.
While more than 23 million Americans live in so-called food deserts, researchers say food inequity disproportionately affects communities of color.
What I see is this unequal food system in this country, and I started calling it by what it is. It's food apartheid.
Originally, Abuno started with pop-up markets and a plan to go brick and mortar, but the pandemic shifted operations. Home deliveries have more than tripled.
One thing the pandemic did was it made everybody realize what it could feel like to live with food insecurity, even if you're more affluent.
Each day, warehouse supervisor Tracy Smith goes through the online orders, selecting and hand-packing fruits and vegetables for what they call a $30 mix-it-up bag.
I just went through the line and picked what I thought went together.
A recipe card helps consumers decide how to cook the fresh produce. For now, Abuno is focused on continuing to scale up as she chips away at food inequity, one neighborhood at a time.
The consumers here deserve goods and services that are of high quality. I think that they deserve to have their dollars respected, and that's what we do. And it's $1.50 for one?
Reporting from Chicago,
That's not all right.
I'm Asha Qureshi.
Coming up, Airbnb is canceling some reservations to crack down on gatherings that could spread COVID-19. What you need to know about the company's plans for Halloween weekend.
And I'll mention there's a full moon on Halloween night. How about that? There's a beautiful setting sun outside your window looking to the west right now. We'll talk about what's ahead for the rest of the week coming up.
Right now on WRTV, her lasting legacy is getting an even bigger boost in Indianapolis. The Indianapolis Bicentennial Commission has endorsed the Madam Walker Legacy Mural as an official project at the Indianapolis International Airport. The goal is to show off to the world's visitors of Indianapolis how Madam C.J. Walker made a lasting impact on society, culture, and the economy of Indiana Avenue and the city. The mural will tap the talents of Hoosier artists, and we're hearing it will be on display in Civic Plaza for up to 2 years, starting next February. Kevin.
Well, beautiful sunset tonight and sunshine, sunshine, sunshine as we go through the rest of the week. Amanda, I think you'll like that. Temperature in Indianapolis right now, 58 degrees. Temperatures will fall rather quickly because the air is dry and the sky is clear. Temperatures around the metro area generally in the upper 50s, as you can see. 58 or 59, take your pick. Fisher's just slightly cooler than that. Love this. Looking to the west, you can see the setting sun out in Putnam County. Sun obviously setting as we speak. The 18th of the month, the sun will set exactly at 7 o'clock and then earlier and earlier. So we've just got a little bit more time until the sun starts setting before 7 p.m. Next 2 days, let's call it a gusty wind. One's gust between 20 and 30 at times, but it's drawing in warmer temperatures. That's the benefit of that. Clear nights and sunny days thanks to a big blue H on the weather map that sits over West Virginia tonight. Circulation around that brings in the warmer air, and you see the impact. Instead of a frosty start like we had this morning, a little bit warmer tomorrow. Still cool, Then 53 Wednesday morning. We fall back a bit on Thursday, and you'll see how these high temperatures play out as well. Wednesday is our peak temperature, almost 80 degrees. I think some spots will hit 80, especially south of Indy. Then we cool down by about 10 degrees on Thursday and then hover above average for the rest of the week. The national weather story. Tropical storm Delta will soon become a hurricane and strengthen. Indications are it will impact the Gulf Coast. You can see almost anywhere from the Florida Panhandle to Houston is the window where the Category 2 hurricane potentially could make landfall. That's Friday. All indications are remnants of that will stay south of the Hoosier State, but a long way to go on that. Tuesday, temperatures tomorrow, warmer than today. Lots of sunshine, not much different than today. The wind will be a little bit stronger. There are the afternoon highs. Enjoy it. That preps us for temperatures that will be warmer as we get to Wednesday, almost 80 degrees. And I want to show you the 7-day planner. Temperatures over the next 7 days. They're cooler Thursday, but then all that sunshine continues right on into the weekend. Any chance for showers doesn't come until we get to the early part of next week. Mark, Amanda?
All right, Kevin, thank you. Airbnb wants to help stop the spread of coronavirus through large parties. The company announced plans to ban one-night reservations over the Halloween weekend in the U.S. and Canada. People who already booked one-night reservations for that weekend will have them canceled and will get their money back. The company already has a policy against large gatherings and disruptive parties and events. Guests violating that policy could face legal action. Hosts who knowingly allow guests to throw parties could have their listings removed. You look to them to find out whether the businesses you deal with are legit, but sometimes even they are the victims of scam artists. Tim Maniscalco with the Better Business Bureau tells us how even his own agency can't avoid the bad guys sometimes.
Everybody gets scammed out there, or at least try to get scammed, and sometimes it even happens with BBB or people who are using our BBB website. Here's what we found out is happening. There are some companies that are actually taking a fake BBB website, putting an A+ grade on there, putting the BBB accredited business seal on there, and trying to fool consumers that they're Better Business Bureau accredited businesses. I want everyone to know that our site is bbb.org. That's the right site. So when you look in the URL, it should say bbb.org. And the reason that we think that's so important is if you are an accredited business, you pledge to our 8 standards of trust. And those are things like, responding to consumers' complaints, dealing with people in a trustworthy manner, making certain that you are protecting people's identities out there. We make certain that accredited businesses pledge and are adhering to those standards. So don't be fooled. Go to bbb.org. In Central Indiana, there are over 3,800 businesses that are accredited with our Better Business Bureau here in Central Indiana. bbb.org. Just make sure you use that particular URL our website. And also, if you do see a website out there that says they're BBB, please let us know.
Once again, the website to remember is bbb.org. Make sure that's the address you see in your web browser so you know you're at the correct site. WRTV News at 7. We'll be right back.
Just in time for Halloween, if you're a horror fan and in the market for a new home, the house from the Oscar-winning movie The Silence of the Lambs is up for sale. It was used as the home of killer Buffalo Bill in the film and is located about an hour outside of Pittsburgh. The house sits on nearly 2 acres of land and the exterior is pretty much the same as it was in the film. The price tag for the 4-bedroom, 1-bathroom home is just under $300,000. And before you guys cut my mic back there, Mark, I know you're a big fan of horror movies. Would you do it?
Oh, yeah, I've seen this movie, and I've seen the inside in the movie, and that's a steal.
I feel like you would love it.
Oh, yeah.
3 easy payments of $100,000, Mark. That's all you need. Sunshine led to beautiful sunset. We're headed to the low 40s overnight. Mr. Mullins.
See you back here tonight at 11, everybody.